reflect on the 2018-2019 school year, there's several things we want to brag about. First of all, we rolled out one-to-one Chromebooks in our high school, and that was the biggest part of our one-to-one initiative, and we did that very successfully. From day one, students were taking Chromebooks home, and we felt like we were really ready to use them in our classrooms, and so that was a success. We also had some really good student successes and extracurricular things. There's so many that they're hard to remember, but some that stand out is we had a 5th grade jet toy team that won the region and the state and went on to compete in Detroit and actually won the national jet toy competition. That was a group of 5th graders from Star Elementary School. We had some successes in athletics. Our baseball team for the first time ever won the district, and then went on and really was 1 out away from winning the state championship. So we were upper state champions and made a really good showing in the state. We had a state championship wrestler. We had a track athlete for the first time in a long time qualify for the state meet in high jump, a female athlete. We had our FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America team went to Texas this summer and was in the national competition there. Our FFA chapter was a gold chapter. That makes them one of the top 5% in the state. And so there's many successes there extracurricular wise. Another thing I'll brag on is we started a skeet shooting team last year, and we had a lot of participation and a very young team, but went on to the state competitions, and we have a skeet shooter, Eric Brown, who is actually in the national competition as we speak, competing for some skeet, trap, and some other events. So those are just a few of the highlights we had from last school year.
All right, coming into the new school year, there's a lot going on. I know. What are some of your goals? What's your vision for this coming year?
Well, as we start this coming year, I always start with a focus for our admin team that trickles down to the schools. And so our word for this coming year is why. You know, what is our why? Why are we really here? And it all goes back to a laser focus on students. And just reminding ourselves every day that regardless of your position in the district, what it all comes down to is what happens to students in our classrooms and our activities while they're here. We want to make sure that we're again focused on the whole child, and that's academically, that's socially, that's emotionally, that's making sure they develop their unique gifts and abilities so that when they leave us, they're ready to be lifelong learners. They're that profile of the South Carolina graduate that you hear us talk about so much, that they're ready to take their next step, whether it be college, whether it be career, whether it be a combination, because most students, when they leave us, they leave into some type of work as they're doing further college studies. One thing that I think is definitely going to help that, and that we're so excited about this year, is that we're going to open our Career Center, the Anderson Institute of Technology. For Anderson School District 3, what that means is our students have access to 19 more programs of study to take them into the workforce. Career and technology programs, but the thing I want people to remember about career and technology programs is that's for every level student, from your AP honors child down to what we used to call your general ed student. There's something for every child to get there. We'll be opening the doors of that building, and for Anderson 3, that's a game changer. We go from being able to offer 4 CAPE programs to now really 23 opportunities when you count the 19 at AIT and the 4 we'll still have at Crescent High School. You know, that is the capstone project of the penny sales tax for us, was building that building, getting it open. We have a great staff there. We've done a lot of work getting ready to go, and so on day one it's going to be exciting. I think we have about 125 kids next year from Crescent who will start, and that'll build as it fits into their schedule better and as they do their career planning. But that definitely is the one huge highlight going into the 2019-2020 school year. Another big rollout we have, and this will really complete our one-to-one initiative, is last year we had classroom Chromebooks at the middle school. With the onset of this year, every child at the middle school will also have an individual Chromebook that they will be able to take home every day, and that will really complete our one-to-one initiative. Last year we rolled out 800 additional Chromebooks. This year we're adding over 500 to that, and as a district we're one-to-one, and that fits right into our district's being accepted into the second year of the e-learning pilot. So we'll be one of the 15 school districts in the state on inclement weather days that will be able to do e-learning, and the school year just continues right on those days. We have a plan. We'll be implementing that plan, and so those are two key things we're really excited about curricular-wise.
After the rollout of the Chromebooks, have the teachers and students all accepted that really well? Has that been a good thing for everybody?
It's been a really good thing for everybody, and we're in the time when our students grow up with technology, so they expect it. They're ready for it, and quite often they're more ready for it than we are, and so it's been very well received, and students are excited, teachers are excited. One thing that we've done in our district, because we're a rural district, and I should say done, we're working on, is we've identified hot spots in the district, and most of them are located around our schools where during the evening time a parent or a child could actually drive to a lighted place and get on our Wi-Fi system. So if they don't have access at home, there'll be spots they know that they can go to, and it's like I say, well lit, video surveillance, but they can get on our system and do their work or do their study or whatever. So for students, also for community members, that opportunity will exist. So by August, those signs will be up, those locations will be noted.
And the Anderson Institute of Technology obviously is going to continue to grow. The job opportunities for students are just going to open up exponentially, right?
Right. And what really will open up for our students is they'll be able to do internships, paid internships, while they're there. And then it transitions them to, if they go to Tri-County or another technical pathway, or even to a college or university, it puts them a step ahead. Often it gives them a credential in hand as they go. And that's been one of my goals as superintendent of Anderson School District 3 anyway. I want every Crescent High School graduate to leave here with at least one credential in hand that they can take to an employer and say, look, I have these skills, I've got this certification, I've got this certificate, you can put me to work and know I'm ready. And we also are working on having those as stackable credentials. I really don't want you just to have one. I want you to have a whole stack that you can build on as you go, because what it really is a way for students to market themselves and to go to right to work. And you see the signs around Anderson County for First Quality and Michelin and the other places, showing that you can come to work for us right out of school at $24, $25 an hour. You put a credential on top of that. And so what we're really doing for our students and our families is open up job opportunities. On the flip side of that, what we're doing for our businesses is providing them that high-skilled, highly technical workforce. And those two things go hand in hand. Businesses come because we can provide them. We can provide them, and that gives our kids a place to go to work, and it also keeps them in our community. So it's a win-win situation.
What about in the schools? What's going on in your schools this fall, going into the fall and spring?
Well, in our schools, we have 3 new principals in our district. And when 3 may not sound like a lot to a lot of districts, but we only have 5 schools. And so we have our middle school principal actually moved to Ive Elementary. And then we have 2 brand new principals. At Crescent High School, we have Mr. Cliff Roberts, and he comes to us with 10 years of high school experience. And then at Star Ive Middle School, we have Mr. Adam Coates, who comes to us from a neighboring middle school as an assistant principal. But I think what you get with new leadership in schools is a fresh set of eyes, new ideas, a new way of looking at things. One thing you'll see at Star Ive that's new is a strings program. And that's one thing we've been looking to add in our district, but just haven't had the right combination of personnel and timing. And so as Mr. Coates came in, we had a music opening, and he had a person that could feel the need of music and bring us the opportunity for strings. So I'm really excited to see how that program builds. We have some additional opportunities in honors classes at the high school just to make our students more well-rounded. We've had a couple teachers take some AP endorsement classes this year that will give us some opportunities in band and music. We may not actually have students in those classes next year, but we'll start building toward that. So continue focus on STEM. I think especially K through 8, we've done a lot with science, technology, engineering, and math, and really now adding that arts piece to it to make it STEAM. So that's another emphasis that will continue.
What about safety? You know, that was the big thing coming into last year, and they made some changes. How did that go, and how's it looking coming into this year?
Well, last year we added some additional cameras and some things like that. This year, and really this summer, we're not quite finished, but we've taken some safety funds that we got from the state, and we're rekeying all of our buildings. And when you have a district that has some buildings with the age of ours, you wouldn't believe the number of different keys we have, or maybe you would. But when we're done with this initiative, I'll have a swipe card that can get me into any building in our district. And each person in our district will have a swipe card with different levels of security. Now, that's a convenience for me because right now I don't have a key to any building in our district but the district office. But with that swipe card also is a record of what building I go into and when I go into it, and the same thing for anybody going into a building with a swipe card. So what it gives us is not only convenience, but also greater security of knowing who's coming in, who's coming out, and who's at what location. And so that's hopefully will be done in the next month or so, but that's the biggest additional piece to our security. We've had SROs in our buildings, each building for about 5 years now, so we'll continue that process. We've looked at some additional crisis response training in addition to ALICE. I know we've been doing the ALICE training for a long time. We've looked at some additional approaches to that can only make us better, and we'll be rolling out some of that training to our staff. We put in some fencing in some places. You may see some at Crescent just as students change classes. Last year we really started keeping them inside the buildings to change classes, but it's logistically it's really hard in small hallways, and so we put in some fencing in some areas where they can change classes outside but still be isolated from traffic going up and down 81 and in the parking lot, so still feeling secure there.
You mentioned over the past year some accomplishments. How important are athletics and extracurricular activities for your students?
Well, it's just the link hook that gets kids involved, gets them excited about coming to school. I mean, I wish every child was excited about academics, but we just know that even the most highly motivated children often need something else to get them excited about school. And so you would not believe when we went to the state championship each time in baseball, in upper state and actually state, we took fan buses of kids to go watch it. And the interesting thing, you watch the students get off the bus, and some of those students, it surprised you that they were there. And it just shows you that when they have an opportunity to be a part of something and be excited about something, they want to do it. And then that excitement flows over into the classroom. Success builds success. And it doesn't have to be in just, it's not academics and extracurricular separated. They go together. And that's really what we try to focus on is that whole child. Children are more than a test score. They're much more than a test score. The test score just tells me something about their ability. What happens every day in the classroom or every day on the athletic field or every day in their opportunities for leadership, that's really what we're about. And, at the beginning when I talked about our successes, I left out one important group, and I'm going to fit them in this conversation too, is our Student Government Association group. has also won national recognition. We have state officers. Last year we housed the regional rally at Crescent in the Ag Arena. And I think that's another area of extracurricular that our children really have just been drawn to, and it's that opportunity for leadership. And when you give those students opportunities to be leaders, they step up and they lead. And they go back to our elementary schools and even to our middle schools and bring those students in and become mentors for those students. And so again, it goes back to, it's all part of us and our why, what we're doing for children. And we're here to help every child be successful in every way and to develop their potential. And that's not a narrow focus, that's a huge focus. And academics is a part of it, extracurriculars, leadership, helping them build confidence, helping them through transitions when sometimes, from one day to another, you just need a little extra help emotionally. And all that comes into play into being success.
And your FFA program's won state awards and is well known too, and with the big barn and all over there, and kids involved in that. I've done some work over there and seen what they were doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and FFA will always be a tremendous part of our tradition and our heritage, and our program with the arena, doing the rodeo and doing our own shows and doing other shows in our own venue has brought that focus even greater to Crescent High School, because now we're not traveling to other places that really have less adequate facilities than we do. People are coming to us in a very state-of-the-art facility, and so that program is growing. And even though AIT will have an ag program of its own, Crescent will continue to have that strong focus in ag, because you just don't quit what you're doing a great job at. And FFA is definitely that area that we are drawn to. Our kids love it, and we have the best instructors in the state, so that goes without saying. One other new thing for us this year that we're starting to put information out about is we'll be offering online registration for all of our schools, and so our parents will receive emails and also a mailer telling them the directions for how to do that. We'll be able to take payments over this online registration. And so I know as a parent, it was always easier with 3 kids if I could have paid one way, not had to send multiple checks. And so we're excited about the opportunity for online registration. Now we'll still have, face-to-face coming into our buildings, meeting teachers and picking up schedules and things like that. But the online registration will save some time to be able to make payments at home. For parents who don't have access to a computer, you'll be able to do the online registration in our buildings when you come in. There'll be a dedicated area with computers and with assistants. So we're excited. I guess you'd call this our pilot year with online registration, but online registration and online payments, we'll be able to offer that this year to our community, and we're excited about that.
For people who don't know, remind them about your district. How many students and how many schools and what schools they are and that kind of thing.
Anderson School District 3 is the district in Anderson County that has the largest geographical area, but the smallest population. Our district is composed of 5 schools. We have 3 elementary schools, Flat Rock Elementary, Iva Elementary, and Star Elementary. We have 1 middle school, that's Star Iva Middle School, and then we have 1 high school, that's Crescent High School. Total enrollment in our district stays around 2650, give or take a few kids. Our enrollment's been pretty flat for the last few years, and we're working on some ways to get some additional families in here and to make that enrollment grow, because we think we offer a great opportunity for children and for families. So, but that's where our enrollment numbers are right now. Our elementary schools, each of those around 400 students, and then Star Iva Middle School going into next year is projected at about 650, and Crescent High School is projected around 725. So great size schools for individualized learning, for opportunities for students. There's real advantages to a small school district, and I think it comes down to small class size and just individualized attention. And we know our kids' names, they know our names, and that makes a difference when you're educating students.
And for parents or just anyone who's interested, what's the best way for them to find out more about your district or to get information about what's going on in the classroom and those kind of things?
Well, one of the best ways to get information about our district is our district app. Last year we rolled out the Anderson 3 app. You can download it from the Apple Store or the Android site, and we really focus on keeping that app up to date. And that's where you'll find our live feed, that there's constantly information going up, information about the online registration is there, information about our new administration, really anything going on with our students is there at the district level, and you can zero it in, target it in to the individual school that you're interested in. So that's probably the most convenient way to do it. That app is linked to our websites, and again, our websites are fresh and have up-to-date information. The neat thing about downloading our app is any type of notification we send out can be immediately sent to you through a text, an email alert, a phone call. It populates our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and our Twitter feed all at the same time. So that truly is the best way to keep up with what's going on in Anderson 3. And then if you want to communicate up with us, you can find our email addresses and have direct communication that way.